Now, we do what we can to bring interesting individuals here to Wake Up Nigeria to have interesting conversations. And a gentleman who is vast in his field is the gentleman we have here today. His name is Enyengho. He is a filmmaker and media practitioner with over 26 years' experience. He was the former president of the Association of Nollywood Corps. Now, we have so much to talk about and often so little time. We mentioned your full profile earlier on the show, and we know that if we continue like this, we might be here for a while. It's great to have you in the building, sir.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I would love for us to talk a little bit about Nollywood and what's been happening in Nollywood of recent. Would you like to touch on your thoughts about Nollywood presently?
Well, I think so far so good. Nollywood, as we continue to raise the bar, we continue to push the envelope. And Nollywood 5-10 years ago is not Nollywood today. You agree with me, because the bar has been raised in terms of the content we shine out, in terms of the quality of production. In years past, it used to be, oh, Nollywood, they have good story, but poor picture quality, poor audio, and all of that. But all that is a thing of the past now. And
thankfully,
Nollywood content can travel anywhere in the world, you know, and cinemas, festivals, awards, and all of that.
Do you think that there's any one individual or one body that can be credited to making this happen so quickly? Do you think it's possible to credit one body, or do you think it's a collective effort?
Film itself is a collective effort, and so you cannot credit it to one individual. It's a collective effort, and the will of the practitioners, of the critical mass of the stakeholders, you know, to keep pushing the envelope, if you will. And so it's a collective thing, and that determination to, because Nollywood started just like that, you know, individual efforts, you know, a collection of individual effort without government support and what have you, and Nollywood was, you know, came alive, and so that has still been the motivating factor, you know, is that collective effort of the practitioners and the will to meet up with Hollywood, Bollywood, and what
international standards.
Yeah, so that's it.
Now, there's been a lot of talk about the Motion Picture Council in Nigeria. Please share your thoughts on what's been happening recently.
Oh, yeah. So this started since, I think, President Obasanjo's tenure or so, for you to know how long he's been on the board. Now, Motion Picture Council of Nigeria, MOPICON, it's supposed to be the umbrella body for filmmakers in Nigeria, whereby you know, presently you have proliferation of guilds and associations. You have many producers association. I'm a producer and director, for instance. You have many producers association. That's Association of Nollywood Corp Producers, ANCORP. You have Association of Movie Producers, AMP. That's just for producers. Then for actors, you have various bodies. For directors, you have various bodies. The idea behind MOPICON is that is our own, if you will, equivalent of Nigerian Bar Association or APCON, if you will. You understand? It's an umbrella body that will be self-regulated.
Okay.
The practitioners themselves will be in charge of the council, but it needs that legal bite. And it needs to pass through the National Assembly and all of that. So we've been on this for decades. You understand? It's a need in Nollywood. It's not a want, it's a need, because it will help to regulate the industry so that it will no longer be an all-commerce affair. These days, people can just carry camera and move to location.
Some might say that being an all-commerce affair has been, you know, financially viable for people so far. That why, you know, the question would now be, why should they, you know, take the word of such MDAs? You know, why should they relate with MDAs generally in Nollywood? Why?
Why should we?
How relevant
Is the MOPICON?
Yes, yes.
Oh, very relevant. It's just like asking how relevant is MBA, how relevant is ICANN, how relevant is APCON, how relevant is Nigerian Medical Association.
Okay.
You know, like I said, Mopicon will help the industry to self-regulate. It's not, we are not saying government will regulate us. It's self-regulate. The chairman of the council, all the members will be the practitioners themselves. But it's a way to do, you know, peer review and all of that, and then ensure discipline and professionalism in the industry. A whole lot of people complain that there's no lack of professionalism, but with Mopicon, you understand, it will stand in the gap to, you know, to check the practitioners and then relate with government, particularly the ministries, departments, and agencies, the relevant ones like, you know, Nigerian Film Corporation, National Film and Video Censors Board, Nigerian Copyright Commission, even National Broadcasting Commission.
So
and
there are a lot of these bodies, you know, there are a lot of these things being spoken about.
Yeah.
And yourself, amongst your colleagues, or let's say your peers, you've often been considered a little bit controversial. I can put it that way. I believe I could put it that way. But I'm wanting your reaction to this. What is so controversial about what you've been saying so far that you think people are pinpointing?
Well, you see, at times, fruit, you know, is an orphan, you know. But for me, I always stand on the path of truth in the industry and even in my private life. And, you know, when you stand on the path of truth, at times people see you to be, oh, it's too difficult. It's a controversial person. Why must he be? Why is he challenging this? You know, I like disrupting the system, and but on the path of truth. And I always err only on the side of the law. Okay. You understand? If I must err, it must be on the side of the law. Take, for instance, the National Film and Video Censors Board, you know, which we think, you know, was overstepping its bound, was going against the act that set it up by trying to colonize, if you will, the guilds, the existing guilds and association, by wanting to regulate the guilds and association. This is not in tandem with the extant laws that set up National Film and Video Censors Board. And so we went to court. The matter is in court, so I wouldn't want to talk much about that. Sure. We want the court to pronounce whether Censors Board has the power to control, to regulate, to dictate to guilds and associations. It's just like if we had Mopicon now, you understand, you know, all guilds and associations would be under it. Would Censors Board or any other department and agencies want to control the guilds and associations? I made it loud and clear that Censors Board have no business whatsoever with guilds and associations. Censors Board has business with members of guilds and associations who have business to do with Censors Board. Maybe you want to censor your film. Yeah. You understand? It's not all producers that need to censor film. Some producers are just into events planning. Some producers are just consultants. So it is those producers who have business to do with Censors Board that Censors Board deal with, not the guilds and associations.
So I'm beginning to understand why your colleagues think of you as a little bit controversial. Now I'm beginning to get there. But of course, there's never enough time to have these kinds of conversations on air. We will be watching out for that story and looking out for the eventual verdict. But you're also working on something in Warri.
Yes.
As quickly as possible.
Yeah. It is called the Warri International Film Festival.
Amazing.
You know, the entertainment industry, I would say, without a sense of responsibility, is incomplete without the mention of Warri. Be the comedians, if they have not used Warri to do their stand-up comedy, it's not enough. Even the film industry, a whole lot of Warri people. But there is no single film festival in Warri, even in Delta State. So, and a whole lot of Warri indigenes are in the industry. So I thought of it, and we go to film festivals all over the world, Berlinale, Cannes, and all of that. And so we are starting Warri International Film Festival from December next year, which will now become an annual event.
Amazing.
You understand? Yeah.
I have to say thank you to you once again for joining us on the show today. We will definitely be watching out for the Warri Film Festival. We'll also be looking out for that verdict.
Thank you.
Yes, we will be looking out for all those stories. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.